doing some of the questions. Actually, let me do some of the questions right now. Octavius, can I do this from any state? Yes, this is in all 50 states. This is all 50 states. Just put in your postal code and your sport, and it'll tell you if it's open as soon as you register your email, create your password. That's the very next question it asks you. Do we make money off the initial assessment? Awesome question, Tim. Actually, I don't think I've ever gotten that question. So initial assessment, $79. Athletes can redo the assessments, and they do redo the assessments for the athletes that are serious, and that once you provide them those corrective measures, the very next thing they want to do is see those numbers rise. So again, it's almost like a competitive thing and if their peers are a little higher, they want to redo them to try to beat their peers. So yes, the assessments keep coming in, but only the initial one is assigned to you. You have the relationship with the kids after that and the parents. So, and I tell everyone this too. If you are everyone always says, Lance, is it a conflict of interest if I own a facility? Is it a conflict of interest if I'm a pitching coach? Whatever you do, you can do with these kids. So there's no like, oh, these are our kids and you only get to do an assessment. You can't, make money as a pitching coach off of them. Absolutely not. Like they want that. That's what we want. We wouldn't bring you on if you, number one, didn't have the experience. If we accept you for doing assessments, we accept you for everything. We want you being that person, being that, I always use the word authority is a better word for it, but that authority in that area for kids, whatever they need. If you can't do it, you should be able to provide someone that can and be able to be confident in doing that. And that's what we want. So these parents stop getting steered into all these dead ends and situations where they get money taken from them and their kids get hurt or whatever. That's what we want. So yes, there is no conflict of interest. If you own a facility, you actually put your platform here. I'll share it now. You actually put it in your name. I'll show you what it looks like. If you own a facility or you run a pitching program, strength and conditioning. I'm going to log in. Okay, so right here is the profile. Hopefully you can see that. Let me make sure. Yeah. Let me open it up a little. So once you're onboarded, this is what you see. The Explore tab, as I mentioned, these are where your athletes are. You'll see this kind of little box grow a little bit. That's where, if I clicked on this right now, you'd see all the athlete profiles. You'd see all their progression scores, their percentages, everything. I can't do that because these are minors. But when you have your kids, you'll be able to do that. You just can't show anybody else. Target athlete population. These are the postal codes in the schools that you represent in that area. So depending on the area you're in and the sport you take, this is where your schools populate that you're working with and the areas that you're in if it's not taken by someone else. All our Zoom meetings are here. All the recordings, if you miss any of our meetings, they're all right up here. And then the name. So this one is Daniel Callahan, Callanan, sorry. This could be put under your name. So under your Bob's pitching, it can be under your name. And then when you do all the promotions, it's under your name too. So it's, a lot of people say like Bob's pitching powered by Area Scouts or powered by Apex, like totally up to you, or you can just run with Apex or Area Scouts. But we give people the option for the same reason that I always reference, like we don't discount people's experience. If you've been building a brand for the last 10 years, who are we to come in and say, oh, you have to do everything under our name? It's kind of BS, in my opinion. I wouldn't want to do it. So that's why I don't make anyone else do it. So yeah, if you have your own thing going, we want to promote you and what you're doing. Like I said, we wouldn't have you on board if we didn't believe in what you were doing. $790 per session. Dajon. Yeah, so up to 10 kids per session. So $79 a kid. The maximum right now, and that's not to say we're not going to increase that, but this is the first season all of you are doing these assessments. So we're going to keep it at 10. That was agreed on by us and Apex. Next season, we might go to 15. So 10 kids times 79, $790. So up to 10 kids. Will all your assessments be 10 kids? Absolutely not, especially not the first season. That's just, again, unless you live in a populated area with a popular sport, this is our first season. I want everyone to know that. Individuals like Daniel that have 116 kids. We haven't done an Apex assessment yet. Starts in February 16th. So he didn't get those from Apex. He got those from doing the Area Scouts movement assessments and the strength and conditioning and the sport specific. And it took, Daniel's been with us almost 3 years. And I think it took him pretty close to 3 years to get up to 116. Again, I love being able to say that because I do not want people thinking they're going to come on here and they're going to have 100 athletes in a month. Just, unless you know somebody that's going to give you them, you're not, it's not real life. So the nice thing is that once you get this number of athletes, then it just becomes a referral thing. Like Brian, I showed you Brian, those are all referrals. So once you, again, you know the value, what I just told you for the parents. And the crazy thing is, and I have people that I talk to in the industry, people that have other products. And I had a guy on the other night, and I think you'll find this interesting. And I had to sleep on this last night, and I'm thinking, like, should I change what I'm saying? Should I change what I'm doing? But I'm not gonna. He said, Lance, I watched your presentation. He said, you're pitching this product like you're talking to the parents. He said, all the value that you're talking about is to the parents, not to the coaches. And I said, how do you figure? He says, because it is everything you're talking about. The injuries to kids. What do these coaches care? And he was saying it respectfully, like it's not, unless it's their own kid, they don't. It's not about them. Like I'm not. This isn't a presentation saying to you, hey, you're going to get rich in 30 days. This is going to help you, and this is going to help you and you and you and you as coach. I don't do it because I actually care about the kids the most. I'm not going to lie. I care about all of you too, but I care about the kids more. I love you all, but that's the truth. And when he said that to me, he says, you got to change it. He says, you got to paint the picture for the coaches. And I'm like, listen, fine. I called them up this morning. I'm like, listen, you made me like not sleep last night. If these coaches don't see the writing on the wall, that all the value I'm talking about is, yes, to the parents and the athletes, not to them. But if they don't see that that's going to directly hit their pockets, because they will be the only people that they can get these assessments from and get these numbers attached to them and get a recruiting system that's free for them like that, then I can't help them. Like that was my thing. He said, oh, do what you want. He says, that's not a salesperson thing to do. And I'm like, well, I'm not a salesperson. Guys, if you don't get it, if you don't appreciate what this is doing for the kids, and that's not enough value for you personally to be that person that's supplying them, regardless of how much you put in your pocket, then this is not platform for you. I truly want people to be able to say the same thing I just said. Like kids are the first thing I care about. I love you all, but it's about the kids. That's what I spent 10 years. I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to lie to you and sit here and say, you guys are all going to make all this money. I do believe you will. But if you're here for just that reason, this is not one of those things. Like go. There's a bunch of them online that say, oh, you're going to make $100,000 a month in the first month. There's a bunch of them you can go listen to. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm just not. And the day I start doing that is the day that I got away from what I did this for. So if it's not enough value for you to give this value to the kids, regardless if they're own blood or not, then it's probably not the platform for you. I truly, the only way we're going to be the best is to have people that have the best interest of the kids, period. And you will do well financially, but because it's going to be something that these parents' kids need. But I'm just not going to reframe the whole reason I did this for that. So you're not going to hear that from me, unfortunately. I know a lot of you, that's your, they say hit on their pain points. That's the sales thing to do. Like if any of you were struggling financially, I could have made this whole thing about like, oh, do you want to pay your bills this month? Do you want to pay your rent this month? Are you behind on credit cards? Like, I just can't do it. I can't do the salesman thing. I can't stomach it when people do it to me. So yeah, I'm not going to play on weaknesses. This is about the kids. If that's not good enough, please do not be part of it. If it is good enough and you're here for the same reasons I am, I would be honored to have you on this team, and we're going to do amazing things together. It's with zero doubt in my mind about that, and I'm gonna stick to that. So yeah, I wish I could wear another hat if I didn't have a conscience, but I just can't wear another hat. I'm gonna wear this one. Um, can you do multiple sports? Yes. So I always tell everyone, same along the same lines. Like I just want to make sure that you like us because it goes both ways, and we like you. After 4 or 5 months, we'll, even maybe before then, say after the first dozen assessments you do, you might say, Lance, the kids were brats and the parents gave me an attitude, and I don't like doing it. Okay, well, thank God that I didn't say, hey, you can have 10 sports and you can run 20 postal codes because I don't want to hear that after I just did that. I want to hear after a dozen assessments, I love this, Lance. This is all me. I want to I want to be Brian. I want to be Daniel in 20 months, 3 years from now, and like convert over to this and make this a living. That's realistic. That's the real time frame. That's the real numbers. And you're in it. You love it. I want nothing else than to have the least amount of coaches covering the largest areas and the most sports that are taking care of the kids. Because the less personalities that I have to get to know and manage is better for me. If I know, hey, I can trust Dijon, you're the guy there. Like, tell me what you need. We're here to help you and grow as much as you want. That's what I want. And know that if you get 20 kids to come in, I don't have to call those parents and say, how did Dijon do? Like, I can't. I got my own kids. I got 5 of them. And I don't know if I'm going to have a 6th. I can't promise anyone. I'm not doing this intentionally. It's just happening. So yeah, I want to know that I can have someone, trust someone there and not even think about it. And that's, again, in today's world, that's all businesses have now. If they don't have a strong team, they'll never make it. There's too much negativity out there, and yeah, they just won't. That's the only way I think this would ever scale is to make sure that we stay to that. It's going to be a little harder. It's going to be a little slower, but I believe in it. Where do monthly plans for the athlete enter, or is that just an option? And what are the difference in the plans? So right now we do a 10-month and a 20-month dollar for the athletes to be on the platform. So we don't have. It's just a subscription that they pay to have more access to more things. $10 or $20. I have, and again, I don't want anyone holding me to this because there's 792 of you, so do not hold me to this. I am on record. I'm recording this. I have toyed with the idea of, because that is like for $20 a month, that's what they're getting, all this, which is kind of crazy. Like you can't get anything for $20 a month anymore. I was considering doing like a 30 a month, and then for like evaluators that wanted to, help get the word out to more kids or more parents, then like give evaluators like a piece of that monthly of the athlete so that you can be earning that residual income on the subscriptions too. But I don't know if I'm going to do it. I like that it's low cost to the kids, that it's 10 or 20, but I don't think they would hesitate at 30. If anything, if I do decide to do it and include you all in that, it would be after all of the AIs built out and that I know we've tripled the value that they're getting and that it would be justified. Then we could definitely do something like that. So that's the 2 price points right now, 10 and 20. No plans to raise to 30, but if I did, I would include all of you in that if somehow. I've just gone back and forth with it a couple of times, but do not hold my feet to the fire on that one. I'm still up in the air about it. And that's the 2 subscriptions for the athletes. Great presentation. What part of Mass you from? Can you tell my accent or did I say it? Congrats. Looking forward to partnering up. Yes, would love to, Richard. I am originally from Woburn, and so I'm just about 10 miles outside of Boston. And but I did spend over 20 years in South Florida. That's where the business is out of. And I do go back there every once in a while. I do have still my home that I had down there, but I haven't done the snowbird thing. I do love Boston. It's getting a little cold, but I do love it up here. Are you from up here, Richard? Where are you from, if you are? Do the parents sign up for the actual training on the app, or is that done by me? It's a great question. Were you the one that asked that last great question too? So with parents sign up for the actual training on the app. So I mentioned the recurring monthly. So typically, so you do the first assessment and then you do the corrective measures with the assessment. After those kids go through those corrective measures, it's almost, what's next? So you can go two different ways with it, and everyone's different. I got coaches that are running quarterly assessments. I personally don't do quarterly because I take a little hiatus in the dead of winter. So I do a preseason, midseason, postseason for baseball and softball. So I won't start up till I do a preseason, then I'll do one midseason and postseason. And I do a different program in season and I do a different program out of season for those kids. Monthly programs that you do residual are typically like Brian does with like he includes pitching lessons in that monthly, or he will do like a scheduled clinic once a year or twice a year, and then do 4 assessments, including in it. So he'll package them. And yes, we've got probably 20 different packages that the parents can sign up for outside of the $79 that Apex brings them in for. So you kind of get that's why I said Apex is kind of a feeder, if you will. You get those athletes through Apex, start working with those athletes from Apex, and then they want to get better, so they sign up for one of those programs through you. And we do ask, because it is all your money, all of that goes to you. So the assessment money and anything you do with the evaluations is all yours. So if you run a clinic and you use our platform to promote it through the kids, that is all your money. So that I know there's other programs out there that have like coaches and then they match up with athletes. We're not that. And they take like a percentage of your trainings, like none of that. It's all yours. The only time you would ever get a percentage of that taken is if you said, Lance, I don't want to set up an LLC. I want you to run it all through yours, which we have coaches that don't want to bother with any of that. We don't suggest it. You should open up your own LLC. We can help you set up the merchant, and all that money goes directly to your bank account, and we don't even want to see it. Like, we'd rather it just go directly to you. But we do have some people that are especially older say, Lance, I don't want to bother with an LLC. Can you run it through yours and just do an ACH direct deposit into my bank account? Yes, we do that, but we take the 2 or 3% that the merchant charges us. So we don't take it and keep it, which it's charges that we got charged. So we have to charge that. But for the most part, other than that, you earn 100% of everything you do. We can help you set up the LLC. If you need help with that, it's super simple anyway. It literally takes nothing to set one up, and then you open a bank account, and then the Stripe merchant. Again, don't let this like overwhelm you. It's literally those 3 things can be done in one day, less than a day. Then you set up your bank account, and then the Stripe account of the merchant just gets tied to your bank account online. The merchant takes 15 minutes to set up. And that's it. And then all the assessment money goes directly into your bank account. And like I said, if everyone could do that, we would love it, because we don't really want to be the middleman. We don't charge to be the middleman. And yeah, it just saves us a lot of hassle. I've toyed with the idea of making it mandatory, but I've already promised people that we'll do it for them. So I just keep doing it, but it is, I'd rather not. So yes, to answer your question, Terry, so they can sign up through those packages right through the platform. And then we link your merchant account to it. So they're paying you directly, but it is through the platform still. It just goes to your bank account, if that makes sense. Same with any kind of clinics, anything you set up, you can set up right through there, and they can click those links, and it goes, even though it's our platform, it's going straight to your Stripe and account. And those plans can be customized in any way. Like I said, we have nutrition. We have my favorite story is Michelle. She's, I think, 22 or 23. She's a videographer, and she did this totally on her own. So she does a videography package. So she goes and does like 3 or 4 sessions of videography for the kids and does the assessment. She's a softball coach. and she does like the highlight reels through videography, and she charges those sessions. Like, so I think her assessment and a videography session is 197. And so the kids get this highlight reel that she goes and edits. It's amazing. And then she does the assessment. So you talk about like being creative. She did that all on her own. And so now you'll hear me sometimes say, hey, if you're a videographer or a photographer, you can include packages and charge people for that. If you're a nutritionist, you can charge people. People are doing e-com through here, which we have guys. If you want to do it, I'll send you to them. I don't do anything with that. But if you want to do it, you can add where parents and kids can order their high school stuff, their sweatpants, their uniforms, or their t-shirts or whatever. They're doing. It's a guy named Stacy and Rick. They're doing team gear for travel. We got guys that come on that own travel programs. They're doing all their stuff and they're getting it like wholesale. And then, they're saving all that money just from going through those guys. So if you do want to do anything like that, you can talk to them. Nutritionists, mental performance coaches. We have mental performance coaches that sell online mental performance training outside of our platform, but they include it in the package. So they'll, instead of doing $79 for the assessment, they'll say 129, and they enter them into the mental health program to get started. And then I think they do something like $10 a month. But there's a guy that's got like 500 kids in his mental health program at like $10 a month. And I know that $10 a month doesn't sound like a lot, but 500 times $10 is $5,000. So he's doing $5,000 in residual on a mental health, mental performance program through our platform. Keep in mind, we host it. He just created it. And then the kids do assessments with him. So he's making $5,000 clear and then doing the $79 or 97. He's doing the base assessments. He's going to be doing the 79 once spring hits. So it's, again, if you have a little bit of imagination, we can help you with it. We can't build it for you or anything. We got all this already built for you. If you want to do something creative, you kind of got to, again, we'll help you as much as we can. We just can't build it for you or anything. If you're going to do something off the map. How do I set up a cognitive training? Yes, Terry, that's awesome. So all you have to do is set up. So everything's already built into the platform for any kind of training that you want to offer to the kids and parents. You just have to, you'll meet one of our operations members and then just send them the videos, the modules, and they can just upload them into your platform for your kids and your parents. That's exactly what Travis did. Travis was the guy that that's doing the mental performance. So I think it's 8 modules he uploaded, and the kids go through it and pay $10 a month. And he does like a group Zoom call, and he hosts that Zoom call right here on this link, right through our platform. So the kids come up here and they go to live meetings with their parents, and he does a live meeting with all the kids and parents that are in his network. And again, no, some of these guys, I have 100 athletes in here. So don't think you can, again, I want mild expectations. You're not going to make $5,000 a month when there's no athletes in here. So you got to get athletes. So that's the first step. And we help you with that, but don't put the cart before the horse, if they will. But Terry, that would be awesome to do that. And yes, you can use the app too. So the kids can log into the app and and get the cognitive training too. And it'll be exclusive to you. So no one else will get access to that except for you, your kids, and your parents in your network. And it all ties in, so the kids don't have to go anywhere else. They're getting your training. They're getting whatever training you offer through this. And like I said, every kind of people have said to me, oh, you're trying to be like the Amazon of athlete development. I'm always like, yes, I am. Not exactly, but I like the ring of it. I don't think we'll ever get to that status, but it's nice to dream a little bit. I own a facility. We got about 26 travel teams right now. What would you suggest we do with our coaches? Because we have a number of coaches that might be interested in doing this with our kids. We've faced the most amount of injuries we've ever faced in any season. I've been running this for 12 years. We've almost doubled the injuries in the last 3 years. Doug, this is a common theme. So it's not you know, I hope nothing I said you thought was directed towards you. I'm confident you're running a great program. Sometimes, just the kids aren't getting that foundation built. In a lot of cases, some of these kids might be coming to you, Doug, that a coach has been working with them for the last 5 years and haven't been done anything with them. They've been totally negligent, have not built any foundation in these kids, and they think they're just going to keep going at this speed and not face an injury. And I got to tell you, once especially, I'm not going to say 9, 10. That's rare when you start seeing catastrophic injuries at that age. I see them, but not as much. When these kids hit that growth spurt, and I tell everyone, I would take, not that I would bet on it, but if I take any bet in Vegas that when a kid hits a growth spurt, if you were to show me what that coach or any coach, collective coaches, were doing with those kids from up until that point, if you were to show me the regiment that they were going through, I could tell you without a doubt, I could bet any amount of money in Vegas, like within 12 months of that growth spurt, they're going down to an injury. I could just tell you from what they've been doing and where they are now. I don't even need to see them like move now. Like I could just tell from what they've been going through up until then. I could tell you without a doubt, it's not if they're going down to an injury, it is when. And that is probably the biggest part that or the, like you, Doug, you probably, I don't know what ages your teams are, but I guarantee some of these injuries you're talking about are happening in some of these older kids. If those older kids were in a rec program, let's say, and volunteers were working with them, I see this all the time. And now all of a sudden they're going to a travel program and no one's worked on anything in that rec league. Well, guess what? You get to work with those kids now. Like if you want to expand this to the younger ages, you can, like I do this for my local rec league. I get 700 kids in the local rec program. No one's doing this stuff. And these kids are, I know the youngest of 5, so you're not doing much with them, but that goes up to, 12, 13 years old. So like they need it. It's not, people look at rec like, oh, it's just fun. And it is. But some of these kids, as I say, I use the term, they're good enough to hurt themselves. If they're good, if they're big enough, fast enough, strong enough, and when they hit their growth spurt, that's usually when it happens. If there's no foundation built, they are 100% going down to an injury. And that's why there's 33 million. And then Doug, you're the one holding the bag. Like if these kids came to you from another program and they haven't done anything with them and they washed their hands of them and now they're in your hands and now they suffer a catastrophic injury, guess who's getting blamed? It's you. And it wasn't your fault. Like you didn't, all that up to leading up to you was the damage. And again, parents don't see it. The years go by. They think their kids are getting better when their kids are just getting older. They're bigger. Of course they're better. They can throw a ball. Oh, my son, he could throw the ball so much fast. Well, yeah, he's growing. He's not getting better. As a matter of fact, his mechanics are horrific. But yeah, he's throwing the ball better because he's bigger. He's got a longer arm. Like it's just like, some of this stuff is just crazy what you hear. And then I'll see kids that are like, you can see them grabbing their shoulder. You can see where they can't even make a throw with 100%. And again, I see most of this in my sport, so but it's across all of them. And I'll talk. First thing I do if I notice something, I'll talk to the parents. I'll just see what's going on. Say, hey, do you mind if I run them through a movement assessment? I'll even offer it complimentary at this point. That's how disgusting it is out there. Where I see everyone's ignoring this kid. You can see he's grabbing his shoulder, and everyone's ignoring him. Like it blows it's going to get better. No, it's not. Whatever you're doing with him, it's not going to get better. And the parents like, oh yeah, he's got a bad shoulder because he plays football. No, it's not because he plays football. Yeah, might have had one instant, but like that heals if you're doing things right, unless it keeps hitting the same way, hitting the shoulder the same way. But ultimately, there's a problem there. It needs to be addressed. If it means rest, if it means going to your primary physician, getting referred out, and then having a proper return to play program and strengthening some of these areas that keep getting injured. There's a reason why some injuries keep happening. There's somewhere that needs to be strengthened. Again, just like such common sense, and it's just and then the kids again, they're not getting better because they're either playing hurt or they're just the coach they're with is not getting them better. They don't know how to get them better, so they quit, or they get injured and they quit. And that's where we are. I mean, the numbers when people say, "Oh man, that's 33 million." If you really take a look, step back, you could see why it's at 33 million with what you see out there. And parents think that kids are hurt because they're playing sports. Like, yes, but no. Like, not in a lot of cases. There's injuries that are there. They're present. They need to be addressed, or there's something that fundamentally, mechanics wise, their bodies are not accepting, but it keeps being done, and eventually they're going down. You're just waiting for the inevitable by not doing anything about it. And parents are counting on the coaches to do it. And in some cases, the coaches are just kind of hoping it just goes away. And yeah, so I could go on all night about this. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know 90% of you are witnessing it. You've seen it. You've had it happen yourself. I get a lot of you come on these calls when I onboard you, and you've said, Lance, if I had had something like this, I can't tell me how many times I've heard it. Lance, if I had had this when I was, 5 years ago, I would have had a chance, like to either play college or play pros. Or I've had pros tell me, like, their shortened careers in the pros. Lance, if I had had this, I have these on Zooms. I keep meaning to like cut up all the videos to show people what people are saying. I just, again, here I am, 10 o'clock at night. I'm talking to everyone, not editing videos, but yeah, it's so common, and everyone kind of sees the light, but everyone kind of sees the light after the fact. We need to get the light shown before these things are happening, and we will. Just been a little bit of a challenge, but I believe we're there. We're turning the corner with all of you guys. I can't do it myself, but with all you guys. Emailed you about it. Yes, definitely, Terry. I know if you have that already built out, or if you want to build it out, we could definitely put that on the platform for you and set up the links for your kids to sign up with it if you want to do the monthly cognitive program. And anyone else that wants to do something like that, I encourage it. Kids want this stuff. Like, and you think, oh, this is already. Sometimes people say, oh, there's so many mental health programs out there, or mental performance, and there is. But parents don't know which one to do. There's a lot of them, so they have a lot of options. But if it was yours, if it was your mental performance program and you're local, they meet you, they know you, they trust you, you're the program. Like, they don't care about that there's 50 other ones out there somewhere that they could find. They know they got someone right there in town. They know you actually care about their kid, because I kind of make it a point to push the people off of these Zooms that don't care about the kids, if you didn't catch on to that. I literally say certain things so people get off these Zooms, because I'm trying to build this perfect team. So yeah, like when I say, like, if you don't care about the kids, you shouldn't be here, I mean that. So these parents will know that you care about their kids genuinely. So whose program are they going to use? They're going to go search the internet for a mental performance program when their kid's struggling with anxiety, or are they going to trust you, who's with their kid every month and has a number attached to you that you actually care about, that says, what's the chance their kid's going to get injured? I mean, what more connection could you possibly have with a parent that would give them any other reason to not use you as a coach for everything, or come to you for everything, than that? Like, I'm tracking a number. Like, listen to this. I'm tracking a number on me that tells me the chance of injury that your kid has while I'm training them, and I'm trying to improve it monthly. I just, instead of, oh, your kid's going to go D1. I know it. Your kid's going to go pro. It's going to be another $1,000. Like, or you could say, hey, this is what I care about. I run a mental performance training for 10, $20 a month. And if you want to join that, it's not going to hurt the parents, 10, $20 a month. And you could actually offer something to them. So I'm not telling everyone to go be a mental performance coach. I'm just using it as an example. And the girl, and the Michelle with the video, like, no one's going to get video. And the girls she's filming, she's getting girls referred to her that aren't even in the program, that are wanting her to do videos, because some people are referring to her highlight reels. So she's doing a ton of different videos. Not all of them are on her platform. I've been trying to work with her to, like, she's a little shy, and she doesn't want to approach all those parents that are paying her for the ones that are paying for the video. But I said, Michelle, show them what you're doing with your girls. Just show them. You don't even have to sell them. It's all you have to do is show them what you're doing, and they're gonna just join. Give them the link and show them what you're doing with your girls. That's it. Do a video. I told her do a video on your girls like progressing. Show them the progression charts. Show them moving along in your program, and then send that one to the parents that want the video of their kids with the video that you did, and tell me they don't sign up. Those little things like that. I'm not a marketing guy, but that's a little marketing tactic. Um, so yeah, so that, like I said, there's a bunch of ways you can skin the cat here, and it's here. Like this is, the platform's here. Use it. Can you share which link to begin the process? Yes, is athlete development. Yeah, I'll put it in the thing again. You can see I'm looking around at a million screens here. I have six screens in front of me. I need all of them. I wish I had like 8. I put it in there like 8 times. So you'll see it. Actually, I'll send it right to you directly too. And just make sure you select A as to do the background check for Apex. And please keep in mind it's like 24, 36 hours. And then you'll get that acceptance. And if any of you, I know there's like 30 people that are like going like they're right on that brink of 24, 36. We did get we backed the third party up a little bit with them, or getting them to them, I should say. They're not really their fault. It's kind of our fault. Those are coming. So a lot of you, there's about 30 or 40 of you getting approved by tomorrow. So you didn't get forgotten, but it's probably going to hit close to 40 hours. So I apologize. So you do not need to have a facility to do this because you haven't mentioned any facilities. No, I mean, I get people on here that's their goal, and I always don't want to be the one to say don't reach your dream of opening your own facility. I think if you're smart and you open up a facility in the right place, get the right lease for the minimum amount of space that you need to be successful, I think that's fine. What I see too much is people biting off more than they can chew, $20,000 overhead, and then having to, there's nothing worse. And I speak from experience on this. There's nothing worse than waking up on the first of the month and you owe someone 20 grand, like to start. So you haven't made a dollar yet on the month, and you owe someone 20 grand. Now you got to make that first it makes you a little nauseous when you think about it. So I say to people, until you have a X amount of numbers of athletes that are going to cover your overhead, do not open a facility with large overhead. We have a guy that's opened facilities on here. And he'll get your ear and he'll stay on the call with you for about 2 hours. So you better be prepared if you want to talk to him, but he'll talk to you. He'll just hop on a call and talk to you. He's done facilities. He knows, like, if you do it, he knows where to get all the netting, the mats, everything, all at wholesale, but he'll probably tell you the same thing because, he also bit off more than he could chew once. And I know that, that was probably the one facility. I think he's done 3 of them. And that was the one facility. He's like, man, I wish I had just stayed within the means of what I needed instead of trying to build the best facility in town. And it was too big for the audience. You have to be near a major populated area and not have too much competition to have that kind of massive facility and overhead. So just be smart. But you do not need a facility. There's enough of those facilities. I'll go ahead and piggyback on that. So there's enough facilities out there. Even now they're building these indoor soccer fields. They've built like 10 of them around me up here. Like I could pick probably 30, 40 places to go do a movement assessment now, whereas 10 years ago it was probably half that. And so picking a facility, there's also a couple apps out there I always refer evaluators to that actually you could search an area, you put in a postal code, and you can pick the place that you want to rent for an hour or 2 hours, and then you pay right through the app, and it guarantees you that space. Those are out there too. I think I have 3 of them that I could share. But otherwise, I always say find one facility. I'll give you an example of what I tell people to do. So typically you'll have a couple facilities around you, 3 or 4 facilities. Go to all of them. Always in person. Don't call a facility owner or manager. Um, don't call an AD. Don't call a head coach, a varsity coach, even if you all are. Make the effort to either email or call them and leave a voicemail and just say, "Hey, I'd love to meet you. Just want to, meet you. I'm in the area." Or what I like doing, and it's a little slick, but I've just learned when to get ADs at their best mood, because ADs are a little fickle too. If some of you ADs are on here, I know the AD personality is a little fickle. You got to get them on the right time. I go to their playoffs. So I just recently approached a new AD that I knew their soccer team was in the playoffs. Just this was a month ago, and just walk in there. I say, "Hey, have you seen so and so?" I knew their name by the website. "Oh yeah, he's over there on the 50-yard line." And so halftime of the playoff soccer game, I walk across. I go over to the track. And I walk up to the AD and I stand next to him and he's talking to someone, and I just slid into the conversation. He's laughing. He's happy as could be. His team's in the playoffs. And I slid right into the conversation and then started talking. And now I have another AD in my pocket. I actually added them to Apex, so they weren't in the program already, and had them talk to Apex, and now they are. And so that was just something I did. It was a local coach. I knew those high school kids were going to be kids I was going to be working with. So I just did it. And that's the way to do it, because otherwise they're going to get other emails. They're going to have people soliciting them. And same with head coaches, like varsity coaches. Um, Again, I'm sure I get 500 of you on here. Um, some of you can be a little difficult. Again, I love you all, but you got to get you guys sometimes, and women on the right days. I understand that, but never go up to another coach. I've had this happen. I gonna need to do a video on it and put it on the platform for all of our evaluators. Never go up to a coach and say, "Hey, I'm with Apex Area Scouts. We're doing these assessments, and I'm gonna be the one that's gonna make your baseball players better baseball players." Like, go say that to a varsity baseball coach and see what your reaction gets. Like, he will. I mean, you might as well just go up and just, slap them across the face, in other words, because you've just told them that they don't know how to do their job and you're going to make their kids better. That's not what we're here to do. Will their kids be better athletes because of what we're doing? Absolutely. But you don't, that's not how they take that. They take it like, you just told me that you're going to make my kids better because I can't. So always health initiative. And we're not deceiving them. That's what it really is. Like, we focus on movement and strength and conditioning to keep kids healthy. And we actually put numbers on the kids of their rate of injury risk. So as soon as you say those first introductory things, they know you're there to give them a full team. They're the coach. Give them a full team. Don't let them have their star player go down. That's what's going to earn you respect, and going to have those coaches with open arms. And there's not one of you on this call that's a varsity coach that, if I came up to you and said, "Hey, I have an ability that has been proven that I will give your kid," am I going to save every injury? No, but I will give your kids the best chance to stay healthy. Have you suffered any big injuries this season or the season before? I don't know. I mean, you might have gotten lucky the last 2 years, but I can't usually find a coach that hasn't had a significant injury that hasn't, changed their team somewhat in the last couple of years. If you have, God bless you, you're doing something right if you haven't had those injuries. But that's the way to enter a conversation with a coach. And it's sincere. You're not deceiving them. And you let them be the baseball coach. You're not there to teach pitching, and don't tell them you are, and don't do it. Like, even if you're a pitching coach, do not tell them you're going to offer pitching lessons to their kids. And you shouldn't. That is deceitful, and that is undermining the coach. And I would be pissed. As someone that is in your corner, I would be pissed. So keep it separate. You're there to reduce injuries. Now, if you have other kids that come in through other programs, again, you'll have rec kids coming out of rec, wanting to get better, to make JV, make varsity. Those kids are going to start approaching you because you become that person. You get that reputation. If you don't already have it, those are the kids you want to open up to pitching. Also, if you start doing movement assessments and you get kids coming into your program from just being at the park. Parents walk up to you and say, "Oh, what are you guys doing here?" I always tell everyone when I do my shirts, I do a QR code on my back. So I have a big QR code on the back of I wear Area Scout shirts. I do want to get some Apex shirts once we start rolling these, but I have a QR code. I cannot tell you how many times I'll go to assessment. I'll have five email. They go right into my CRM. I'll have five names on my thing. Like, what were you guys doing at the park today? And I'll send them a video, show them what we did, and like that alone just will get you kids. And if those kids want to learn how to pitch, and you're a pitching coach, by all means, just don't do it behind other coaches' backs. That's all. Respect who they are and what they're there. They're helping kids too. So I always try to tell people because I've had so many evaluators try to get um, kind of jump on this, and they'll say, "Oh, I went and talked to a couple of coaches," and my face is always like, "Oh my God, what'd you say?" And yeah, sometimes they've said the wrong thing like that. So, and it's they can usually recover though. You can, you can usually say, "Listen, I didn't mean to insult you there. I just didn't know what to say. I'm new to this program." Blah blah blah. All right, it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to do a couple more. Yes, I don't know why some of you don't see this link. I've had like 10 people say they don't see it, but the rest of you are clicking it. Maybe it's not on everyone. So here, let me put it on the screen. So yeah, it's www.athletedevelopment.ai. Sorry, not .com, .ai. All right, let me do a couple more questions here. So is there a cap on the amount of athletes you can work with? No, only a cap if you can't handle them. So just and again, you start hitting these numbers like some of these evaluators. We'll be having ongoing meetings and stuff because you'll need help with certain things that we can help you from a support and a operations standpoint. On the field, we can't help you, so we'll just instruct you. Hey, if you get into this number, you're making enough money. Like, bring on an assistant. High school kids are awesome to bring on. I all my assistants. So if I run base assessments up to 30 athletes. So we're not doing that for Apex, but I do them for base. I'll have four assistants from the high school, and I'll give them a gift card. Like I have been having to give them like $40 now. I used to have to give them 25, but I'll give them each like a $40 gift card or for Amazon or whatever I can, pick up or think is a good idea. And then they're happy as can be, and they'll just be out there for 2 hours, and they actually enjoy being out there. So I always get high school kids to help me with that. But if you're getting to a number where you actually need someone to be running separate events for you, then what I always recommend is take that team of professionals that you built, like your top people in the area that you work with, and then approach them and say, hey, listen, and be honest with them. Again, always be upfront. Say, I'm making $97 for a movement assessment. I need you to run these once a month for these extra 10 or 20 kids. I'll give you 50. I'll give you 50% of it. So you make 50, I make 50, and then they can learn how to do the assessment, and then you make half of the money off that assessment. Again, that's all through you. I'm just recommending we don't set this up. We don't talk to people about this, for you. That's all you just learn. It's business, just doing business. When you start hitting that number of athletes, you want to start expanding who's working with you, have some more hands on deck. You start hitting 174 kids, 200 kids, you need to have someone there for vacations. Like right now, if you had 20 kids, you can tell 20 kids, hey, I'm going on vacation, and disappear for a month. They're not going to care. You could pick it up before and pick it up after, but you have 175, 200 kids. You're not just taking a month off and just saying, I'll see you later. You're not going to catch up when you get back. So you got to start thinking when you start getting those numbers, having someone you can trust. And that most of you already know somebody. So it's not that big of a deal, but you just want to plan for those things. And we have had, if you ever have a case where you set something up, like we had an evaluator that set something up and got sick, not bad sick, but just sick. And already had an event of like 60 kids. We flew Pat there. So we flew one of our evaluators to that location and he did the movement assessment for his kids. Now, again, that was $100 a kid, 60 kids. So again, you can do the math. That's 6 grand. So I think he paid Pat 2 grand, something like that, to fly out there. So you still have to pay someone if we say, hey, go send Pat, you're still gonna give him a couple grand to do that, like for that many kids. But he made 4 grand when he was sick because Pat took care of it. But that's why I say when I'm meeting all of you on these calls, I want to know you're that person too. Like I can say, hey, Terry, if you're free, would you do this movement assessment? So and so can't make it. Like we're going to have each other's backs at some point. It's going to happen. And if it happens, I would hope that if you could, if it worked for you, that you were willing to help someone else and they would do it for the same for you. That's the chemistry that I want here. And that's why I said when I meet you, that's what I'm looking for. Are we able to have our own kids out there on the field helping us? As long, age appropriate. You can't, you don't. I know it would be cute to have I got my 5-year-old. I would love to have him out there help me with an assessment, but if I got teenagers out there and I got a 5-year-old help me, your parents aren't gonna think it's so cute. So, just use your judgment. If your kid is mature, 14, 13 mature, that's fine. Like use your judgment. That's all. Just you want to keep that. You don't want parents running around saying, "Oh yeah, he brings his little kid to an assessment." Like you just don't want that. And that's the other thing with the parents too. You know how we all have the joke like, "Oh, parents are the worst part about sports." It doesn't happen here, which is really cool. The only time I've seen it happen here is when you're being honest with the parents about their ability, the kid's ability, which at the end of the day, they usually appreciate. They just won't, they're hurt. You've just hurt them. I've told a parent been like, oh, such and such coach, same thing. Coach was just feeding this parent nonsense. Kid was not a quality pitcher. He needed a lot of work. And I just said, listen, he has potential. He's got to do some work. He's not going to get accepted to the 2 schools you just told me you applied to. He's not telling you. And he didn't talk to me. He didn't talk to me for almost, and this is someone I knew for 6 years. Coached his kid earlier, but he went, I think it was a travel program that told him this again, so he could get that check. The check clears every time you tell a parent their kid's a D1 or a pro, that check's going to clear. I guarantee it. And so, yeah, the checks were clearing. He told this dad, like, oh, yeah, go apply to these. And you know what happened. Like, I don't have to tell you the end of the story. He didn't get accepted to either school. And it took the dad another probably 6 months to get the pride, as I heard his feelings. And I get that. But, he needed to also understand that in this case, I knew his son. I coached his son. I saw his son recently. I knew what I was talking about. It's one thing if you're just guessing, but I was trying to save him that time that they lost, looking at those schools, which they did. And yeah, so that's the only time parents get pissed. There's no playing time. There's no, playing favorites. You're actually the person, like I said, you're the one that's most concerned about what the risk of injury is of these parents' kids. So everybody's happy. You're going to see a whole side to these parents that you've never seen before because all that other drama and the nonsense stuff goes away and real life comes in, like where you're protecting their kids. You're not getting in battles with the parents. They know you're the one that's in their corner. So it's a pretty cool shift when you see that because I know parents can be difficult. I've never been one of them. I've always been a good parent. I'm serious. I've always been a good parent. I've never been a disruptive parent. I think as coaches, I think we try to make sure we don't because of what we witness. But how often do you do these? So I've been having a bunch of people reach out. I had a guest on tonight, but I didn't want to take up too much time. Here I am at 10:15. But I'm probably going to start doing these just at least 3 times a week to get everybody in. I got like 28, 29 people that want to come on and just talk. Pros, former pros, whatever people I've met over the years that, just kind of like what we're doing and just want to. I got a couple people want to promote what they're doing, which is fine with me as long as it lines up. So yeah, I got a bunch of people, so I expanded it to three a week. You don't obviously you guys are welcome to come on every night. Would love to have the audience. Nothing's going to change here. Like I said, I'm not. I can't stomach sales. Um, so I'm. You're not going to say, "Oh, you better sign up by midnight," or you're going to turn into a pumpkin. You're not going to be able to sign up. There's none of that nonsense. Like the only thing I will tell you is your postal code and your sport is the only thing that would stop you from joining 5 years from now if you wanted to. Um, Obviously, I want people on now because we need to get people in these areas, but nothing is, there's no timeline. You can join whenever you want. There's not going to be any charge to, other than, again, we need to cover our background check. That takes 6 of our staff work on a background check. So if when I tell you we're losing money on background checks, we're losing money. It should be closer to 100 for background, but I'm not going to do anything about it. But when I did figure it out, we're losing about $20 on each of them, but not the end of the world. But I just want to let you know, there'll never be a charge to join our team for Apex ever. Um, it is about finding the quality people. I would rather have the ability and the not the power, but the advantage of not charging anything to be able to pick who I wanted to be part of the team. It's more valuable in the long run. It's just if the postal code of the sport gets taken, then you have to wait. That's the only uh, urgency, as they say in the sales world. Create urgency is another one that my sales friend says. I'm like, listen, again, if they don't want to join, I'm not forcing anybody to join. Uh, Sorry for the late question. There's no late questions here. I'm like the Energizer bunny here. I gotta stop though. My mouth is dry. And sorry for the late question. When I click on the form, I'm paying before my zip code. What? No, no, you're clicking the wrong one, Dijon. You're on the licensing. That's why. Unless you want to do licensing, totally up to you. But that's not what I was on this call for. Licensing. So I will. So this is Dijon's fault. So I'm not selling here. This is Dijon's fault. I'm blaming you, Dijon. There is a third. So everyone I told push A. A is the apex. That is no. There's just the background check. B, we're going to have positions opening in January. Do not apply now because they're not open yet, but we are going to have actually paid positions that are going to be regional, open up in January. So ignore B. C is licensing, which you selected, Jajan. That's $13.99 licensing fee. It gives you all of the Area Scouts licensed assessments that like base and all the rest that we've done. And it starts your marketing for additional athletes outside of Apex. So Area Scouts and Apex are two completely different companies. Area Scouts has been around for 10 years. We've been doing assessments for 5 or 6, and we sell licensing to have you do the assessments, and we market to bring athletes in for you to do those assessments. It's movement, strength and conditioning, sports performance. Apex is their own assessments. They're not ours. They're using our software and our team to do their assessments, and that is just a background check. There's no licensing, there's no payment for doing that. So what you selected, Dijon, is if you wanted to start doing assessments like in the next couple of weeks, you didn't want to wait until Apex. That's what licensing is. And I have talked about that on other calls. It's not what I wanted to talk about tonight, but that's what that is. Um, so yeah, Dijon, you have to back out of that. If you want to be Apex, you got to go back into A. Just cancel, just hit the little X and back out of that and go back into A. And if you have any trouble, just reach out to chat and we'll, I won't do it tonight because I'm getting tired, but I'll have, our operations team doesn't get in until 8:30. They're not there now, and they'll get you on in the morning or tomorrow afternoon. But if you put in your postal code, it's reserved. That's the other thing too. Your postal code gets reserved for 24 hours if you put it in right now. So if you put it in and you don't do your background check or you don't uh, go any further, it automatically reserves your postal code for 24 hours. So if you did that already, Dijon, don't have to worry about someone taking it. And then after 24 hours, it gets put back in the pool. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Okay, I want different. So a lot of you are asking if postal codes are open. You got about 40 or 50 people putting your postal codes in there. So I actually enjoy looking to see if they're open and telling people they are and telling you to go ahead and jump on board, but I just can't do it for that many at once. So I'm just going to tell you, you got to go to athletedevelopment.ai and put your postal code in. It will tell you by itself before you go any further. So you won't be asked to do anything. If it's taken, you'll be at kind of a dead end. It'll just tell you it's taken and to be put on the waiting list is what it'll say. You mentioned having trainings on how to do social media. Do you do trainings on other things? If I was to do the license and pay the $13.99 to get started right now, would you help me to train on how to get other athletes? So um, I'll help anyone do anything. And we have Max that's here to do that. That's what Max does. He's our lead trainer for everything. So if you did want to do the licensing and start doing assessments now, I would just connect you with Max. Um, so that's Max's job. He does all the trainings, and he's a varsity football coach. So he knows he's done this. He's done everything here. He can tell you he'll tell you the same things I do about like how to meet ADs and that sort of thing. I really, in the next year, this is really going to shift to um, Apex is actually going to hurt area scouts a little bit in the fact that all these coaches, all these kids are going to be coming on and you're going to make good money just with Apex and not doing some of our assessments. But it really depends, like, how many athletes you want to start working with off the bat. If you don't mind, you know, getting athletes in at a slower pace with Apex, then that's fine. But area scouts is when we're actually marketing to the local communities to start doing movement assessments on those kids. So it's just a different program, and that's what Max teaches. So yes, if you want to do that, Max can train you on all of that. Just reach out to um, Marlon at areascouts.com. He's one of our operations supervisors, and he can direct your email. And like I said, if anyone needs me directly, Lance at areascouts.com. All right, one more. I swear this is gonna be the last one, so I need to be done before 10:30. Can you tell me? I know you look like you didn't want to talk about it, but could you tell me a little more about the ecom? Yeah, so ecom, I don't not want to talk about it. It's just not it's not part of Apex, so I was trying to stay away from it. But so this is ecom. So if anyone wants, I can connect you with Stacy and Rick. They run all the ecom. They have an international manufacturing business, so they manufacture everything. So this is not like one of those where they put your logo on a t-shirt. Like they manufacture everything from equipment. Matter of fact, my daughter, really cool. I need to take some pictures of it. She created her own softball bag. She's a catcher and a center fielder. So she made like this, put together all the ideas for a custom softball bag for catchers and hitters, obviously, center field. And it's really cool. And so she wants to sell them. So he sent it to his designer. She put all the things she wanted in it. And it is really cool. And it was built from a 15-year-old, which some might say, well, that's not probably a good thing. I'm like, no, that's what everybody wants, what she wants at that age. So it's kind of cool. So she said, can he make me about 100 of these and can I try to sell them? I'm like, yeah, go for it. She got a little my sickness of wanting to do different things outside the box. Um, So yeah, so if you want anything built like that, like that's what they do. And they do all the local like high school stuff. So like we're setting up 6 or 8 of these already for evaluators that have come on. So they're doing all their local high schools. And we have ADs that have actually reached out about doing their local high schools, all their stuff, their hats, shirts, all their spirit wear. We just don't have a coach in some of those places, so I'm hoping that someone comes in that area can do those for them. But it's like I forget what it is. It's either 15 or 20% that they give you that Stacy and Rick pay you directly. Again, this is not me or Area Scouts or Apex. It's outside, but they pay you 15 or 20%, and that link is on all of your platforms. So this little Area Scout shop is on your profiles. So when you do this, that converts over to the official store for your high schools. And you could have 4 of them if you have 4 high schools. And then all the athletes, all the coaches in that entire area buy through your links. It goes to all their profiles. So if there were 10 coaches in your area and each one of them had 100 kids, there would be 1,000 kids with your link to buy all their gear for whatever, and parents buy it for Christmas, so on and so on. So if you wanted to do that, more than welcome. You just get a percentage of all that. You don't have to do anything. Nothing gets shipped to you, or it's all drop shipped. So you don't even see anything. It's just kind of a formality that you're the person. So I guess if a parent doesn't like something that they get, they're going to complain to you. I think I don't actually know, but that might happen. So and then you just have to handle it, I guess. You'd have to talk to Stacy and Rick about that. All right, I'm done. You can see I'm slowing down. You see my energy from when I started to this. So I appreciate everyone being on the call. I do have to wrap it up. I know I didn't get to so many of your questions. I'm going to send them all. Let me see who's in the morning. Kaylin is in the morning. So you'll be hearing from Kaylin. She gets in at 8:30. So she'll be answering the 300 and something questions that are left. And she knows everything, so you're in good hands. She'll be answering those by email. If you need anything, she's also going to be send a replay link to all of you if you want the replay. And I don't know if you can listen to me for this long again, but she's going to send it to you anyway if you want. And if you have any questions for me, Lance at Area Scouts, support at Area Scouts if you have any questions for support. Appreciate everyone being on. And I'll talk to you all later. Thanks.